Hello, you're watching VNA News Bulletin. I'm Bong from Hanoi, and now the headlines as usual. Vietnam intends increasing ethnic diversity in parliament. Moscow workshop boosts Vietnam and Russian relations. Vietnamese students are offered a chance to perform French dramas. Vietnam aims to increase the number of ethnic minority deputies at the 14th National Assembly so that the Assembly has appropriate representation from all social strata. Ethnic minorities have been encouraged to participate in the National Assembly during recent tenures. The rate of parliamentarians from ethnic minorities was 17.27% in the 11th term, and 17.6% in the 12th term, and 15.5% in the 13th term. The National Assembly Standing Committee targets at least 162 candidates, or 18% of those nominated for seats in the 14th National Assembly, coming from ethnic minorities. It looks to have at least 90% ethnic minority deputies, or 18% of the total number in the new parliament. There are 204 ethnic minority people among the 870 National Assembly deputy candidates, accounting for 23.45%. However, there remain difficulties in reaching the targeted number of ethnic minority deputies. Vietnam is a multinationality with 54 ethnic groups. Among them, the King people account for 86.83% of the country's population. Vietnam's election of deputies to the 14th National Assembly and all-level People's Councils in the 2016 to 2021 tenure is slated for May 22nd, a Sunday, as according to law. However, remote, border, and island areas that will organize voting earlier than the official general election day. Officers and soldiers in 51 army units in 10 provinces nationwide will also cast their ballots earlier than the election day, as approved by the National Election Council. Developing the Vietnam-Russia relations in the new age was the focus of discussion at a workshop held in Moscow on May 13th. The event was organized by the Institute of Oriental Studies under the Russian Academy of Sciences on the threshold of Prime Minister Nguyễn Xuân Phúc official visit to Russia. Participants highly valued the visit, the first foreign trip by Mr. Phúc as the Prime Minister of Vietnam, saying that cooperation with Vietnam and ASEAN in general is the priority in Russia's turn to the East policy. Numerous reports highlighting the perspective of the bilateral relations were heard during the event, particularly in energy, culture, and education. Vietnam and Russia inked a joint statement on lifting the ties to strategic partnership in 2001. 1 year later, they issued another joint statement on enhancing their comprehensive strategic partnership. Political relations between two nations have been continually consolidated on the basis of mutual trust, as evidenced by regular all-level delegations exchange. Bilateral economic cooperation has strongly developed over the past years, but still remains far behind potential. Vietnam and Russia recognized each other's market economy in 2007. Vietnam is now running 19 projects valued at $2.47 billion in Russia, mainly in oil and gas and trade. Russia currently ranks 17th among 101 countries and territories investing in Vietnam, with 106 projects worth nearly $2 billion, focusing on the mining, processing, and manufacturing industries. The government has published a master plan to implement a strategy for sustainably using marine resources and protecting the marine environment from now to 2020, with a vision through 2030. The plan aims to build up a database for relevant parties and coastal localities to map out their own plans to effectively exploit marine resources and respond to climate change. Accordingly, relevant agencies are requested to tighten waste management, pollutant control, as well as inspections and supervisions of activities that are likely to pollute the marine environment, particularly industrial and processing parks, urban areas, aquaculture farms, and tourism services along the coastlines. These agencies are urged to draw a blacklist of polluters and plans to settle these establishments and install monitoring systems for marine resources and the environment. Besides, the plan will also enhance disaster forecasting, warning, and prevention capacities to have coastal localities timely respond to impacts of climate change, sea level rise, or soil intrusion, thus serving their socio-economic development activities. Japanese manufacturers are regarding the ASEAN region, especially Vietnam, as an export base since the signing of the Trans-Pacific Partnership in late 2015. The information was released in a survey firstly published by the Asian Nikkei Review.
The survey was conducted by the Mizuho Research Institute in February 2016, targeting 1,100 Japanese firms, each capitalized at $92,200 or more. Japanese manufacturers have shown their increasing interest in Vietnam, with 53.5% of them saying that they choose Vietnam among the 10 ASEAN member countries to invest in, up 4.9% against last year. Thailand, where the auto industry's growth is slowing, was picked up by 59.7% of companies, a decline of 2.2% from 2015. While interest in Indonesia fell 4.7% to 41.5%. When being asked where they plan to expand investments among the 12 TPP member nations, 12.8% of respondents named Vietnam. Japan and the US came second and third with 10.7% and 4.9%, respectively. Japanese manufacturers continued to pull out of China as its economy slows down. Only 76.4% of them said they have bases in China, which is a 2% drop from last year and the second decline in a row.
Vietnam's coffee output is forecast to decrease by 30% because of severe drought. We have more in the following report.
Coffee supply is forecast to fall in the world due to El Nino, which is causing crop loss in South Asia and South America. In Vietnam, the world's biggest producer of Robusta beans, droughts have affected many areas under coffee, leaving coffee trees weak, their leaves turning yellow, and their cherries falling. The bad weather is forecast not to improve, with rainfall in May expected to decrease between 20 to 40% over the average annual amount in the southern and central highlands regions, the country's largest coffee-growing areas. Vietnam's coffee exports in the first 4 months of the year reached 638,000 tons, up 35% over the same period last year.
Exports of Vietnamese shrimp products are expected to bounce back in 2016 after a slowdown last year. The following report will bring more details. According to the Vietnam Association of Seafood Exporters and Producers, VASEP, the export value of shrimp in the second quarter is forecast to increase by 10% to $788 million over the first quarter. The total shrimp export value for 2016 predicted to gain a year-on-year growth of 12% to $3.3 billion. In the second quarter, Vietnam's shrimp exports to Russia and China are rising as they are considered the major markets, and the local exports to the United States and European Union will also be higher because of lower inventory in those markets. VASEP reported that in the first quarter, Vietnam witnessed a recovery in exports after a drop last year. The export earnings reached a year-on-year increase of 7.9% to $619.2 million. The growth was a result of higher exports to the world market, stability in the monetary market, and higher demand from major markets. In addition, lower shrimp exports of other shrimp producers in the world, such as India, Thailand, and Ecuador, would be an advantage for Vietnam's shrimp producers and exporters. In the first quarter, Vietnamese shrimp products were exported to 64 markets. The top 10 major markets included the US, the EU, Japan and mainland China, the Republic of Korea, Canada, Australia, ASEAN, Taiwan and Switzerland, accounting for 94% of Vietnam's export value. Over the last 4 years, students of Hanoi University have had a chance to practice French dramas after class, thanks to the support of the Wallonie-Brussels delegation in Vietnam. This has helped them gain a better understanding of French-speaking dramas, an academic chain of art and French culture. To prepare for tonight's performance, these amateur artists from the French language department have worked hard since last September. They were taught by Céline Marriage, who is in charge of French linguistics and literature of the Wallonie-Brussels delegation.
I'm happy to see the students make progress in their performance day by day. Through practice, their language skill gets better and better.
The performance is part of a cooperation framework between the Wallonie-Brussels community in Vietnam and Hanoi University. Each year, students of the French language department perform a French-speaking play as part of activities to celebrate International Francophone Day in Vietnam.
The cooperation program aims to help better students' French-speaking skills as well as their understanding of French literature.
Over the past 4 years, 4 dramas have been performed with the participation of 50 students and the support of experts.
I have had a great experience. I feel a little bit nervous because it is my first time to be on the stage, but I will try my best. My speaking skills and vocabulary are much improved after practicing the drama. I also had the chance to study the culture of French-speaking countries. I found it interesting.
Through the dramas, the audience have a chance to get acquainted with the French-speaking countries' theatrical arts.
I'm happy to see students' progress through the years. The project has helped create an environment for the student to practice French in daily life apart from in classes. The students are eager to join such activity.
The dramas are also performed at festivals and at European Literature Day in Vietnam. Apart from this project, the Wallonie-Brussels delegation also conducts several cultural exchange projects with Vietnam, helping to strengthen cooperation between the region and Belgium with Vietnam. And that has wrapped up our news bulletin. Thanks for joining us, and goodbye for now.